Hope you're well and welcome back to MMA Monday Live. My name is Callum, representing the Sanderson Show. Please subscribe, comment, and like. Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor is a done deal, apparently. Clarissa Shields has called out Chris Cyborg for a fight. Paddy Pimblett has shut down some rumors. And we also have a confirmation of a fight for Darren Till, who'll be taking on Anthony Smith on January 18th for Misfits. Wow. Where do we begin? Nowhere else but with Conor McGregor. To say controversial would be understating just what Conor McGregor is at the moment. And look, Conor McGregor was meant to fight in the Octagon last year. The bout got cancelled due to a toe injury, even though we never really saw much about the toe injury. Not to mention, McGregor doesn't pull out of fights, regardless of injuries. He's fought Chad Mendes with a torn MCL. He's fought Khabib with like broken toes. He's fought Dustin Poirier the first time with a broken thumb or a badly damaged thumb. He fought Dustin Poirier the third time they fought with a bad leg and subsequently ended up breaking his leg in that fight. But he pulled out the Chandler fight and everyone went, oh, that's weird. But, you know, maybe he's taking his career seriously. He knows another loss could potentially be damaging for his career and his legacy. But then obviously the allegations came out. He went to trial in a civil suit. I'll confirm, in a civil suit. And he lost a civil suit for SEX or assault charges. And since then, things have gone quiet on the fighting front. Dana said that he expects Conor to fight in 2025. However, it is now seems as though Logan Paul versus Conor McGregor will be happening in 2025, and it will be for mega money. Apparently, both fighters will get around $250 million. That dwarfs the amount he got for the Floyd Mayweather fight. For Floyd, he got $100 million, if I'm not mistaken. This is double that and some. That is insane money. And look, say what you want about Conor McGregor, the person, the fighter. He'd be crazy to turn down that sort of money in a fight that he would expect himself to win and be fine and comfortable in as well. That is insane money. $250 million for what I believe will probably be an exhibition boxing bout is crazy money. He can't say no to that. He cannot say no to that. Logan Paul can't say no to that. I don't box, I don't fight, but if someone said to me, Cal, $250 million to fight Conor McGregor, I'm getting knocked out, but I'm going to make sure my family's secured. I'm not going to remember what happens on the night, but I'm going to leave a legacy behind. It's life-changing money. And Conor's already got life-changing money, but that's even more life-changing money. That money represents all the amount of money he's made in the whole time he's been fighting. It'd be crazy to turn down that sort of money. He'd be crazy not to take the fight. So him versus Logan Paul makes all the sense in the world. Where does that leave Conor McGregor, the MMA fighter, though? Because let's be honest, a lot of the fans have been hoping Conor comes back. I thought Conor would come back last year. Didn't happen. We saw how long it took for Conor to come back after he fought Floyd. I'm going to be completely honest in my assessment here. I personally believe if Conor fights Logan Paul and this fight goes through and he makes 250 mil, I don't think he fights in the Octagon again. Why does he need to? Shout out to John Conway. Big up, brother Jamie Phillips. Guys, subscribe to Jamie's channel, people. Link in the description, as always. He doesn't need to fight again. Why would he fight again? $250 million. What does he need to fight for? He can reinvest some of that money. He can keep some of that money. He can do whatever the hell he wants with that money. And again, I'm not sitting there saying Conor McGregor has covered himself in glory as a person. He hasn't. But as a businessman, as a fighter, as a promoter, he's done amazing work. Absolutely amazing work. And if he gets this deal over the line, if he gets $250 million for fighting Logan Paul, I mean, he's set a milestone. He set a precedent for MMA fighters. And I'll be honest, it damages the UFC to an extent, because again, it comes back to the whole money situation of MMA fighters are going to get to the pinnacle and then they're going to turn around and say, I want a boxing match. I want a boxing match. Shout out to Jay in the comments. Apparently, Jay, it's all real. Apparently, this is going to happen in India. So the Arbani, or I think it's the Arbani family, they were linked with buying Liverpool when apparently it was quoted that FSG put Liverpool up for sale. I'm going to find it now. Apparently, they are the ones who are brokering this deal. And that's why the deal is looking like it's going to go through, because the family is just minted, just multi-billionaires and have stupid amount of money. I'm going to see if I can find it yet. So basically, Conor McGregor set to earn 250 million in mega fight with set for Mumbai's Wankhead. Hold on, have I just been had here? No, it's actually on the Mac Life. That is a crazy name. That is a crazy name for a stadium. I'm not going to lie. That's a crazy name. The name is spelled Wankhede stadium as part of the Visit Indian tourism campaign. The pair are set to clash for a historic bout, making the fight one of the most financially rewarding in history. 250 million each. Going to happen in Mumbai, India, apparently. It's $500 million for two men. Jay said that's a name I'd make up. No, it's all legit, Jay. It's all legit. And if it happens in India, they will get the money. It's insane money. It's insane money. And I look, hats off to Logan Paul as well. Never expected them to make this fight happen. Ariel Helwani spoke about this about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, and said there's a high chance. Okay, more news coming out about it from Chava. ESPN says the winner of the Conor McGregor versus Logan Paul fight will receive a $1 billion bonus paid for by the Indian royal family. This will come with a lifetime supply of Ring magazine. This money's crazy. The Ambani family are the ones trying to sort this out. So they both get a guaranteed $250 million, and the winner gets a $1 billion bonus. So effectively, this isn't an exhibition then. This will be a real boxing match. And what this does as well, this opens up the door potentially for other potential fights and crossover situations. Because if they're able to put up this sort of money, then they can entice and encourage other fights to happen. And again, Conor McGregor's under contract with UFC. Logan Paul's under contract with WWE. Who are they both under the umbrella of? TKO. So TKO will eat nicely. They'll probably split some of the money between WWE and UFC as well. So Dana will eat nice. Triple H will eat nice as well. Almost acting as hush money. The winner gets $1.25 billion. The loser gets $250 million. Also, I'm not even going to use the term loser here. The person who finishes second in this fight gets $250 million. I mean, if Conor don't take this fight, and if Logan don't take this fight, then Jay, get in line, bro, because I'm taking the fight. I'll fly to India and I'll take the fight. I'll take the fight. F it. I'll do it. How can you not? How can you not take that fight? What I want to see what this does, though, is how does this affect plans that are happening with His Excellency Turkey, for example? Does that make him change his strategy? Does he start paying fighters even more money? What does that look like for the West? What does that look like for fights that's happening in America and the UK and Europe and because they're not putting up that sort of money. I don't even know if they have that sort of money available to put up. But if Conor McGregor wins this fight and he gets a guaranteed $1.25 billion, he says he's going to fight in the octagon again after this fight. He ain't fighting again. Why would he? He'd go from making $1.25 billion in one fight to maybe making what, 20 mil in another fight? It pales in comparison. If he loses the fight against against Logan Paul, he still makes more in a night than he's made it across his entire UFC career. It's crazy. It's crazy. But speaking of another boxing match that has been proposed, and that is Claressa Shields and Chris Cyborg. They've had a war of words for a while now, and Chris Cyborg has tried to get Claressa Shields to fight her in MMA. Claressa Shields has turned down the opportunity to fight her in MMA, despite having experience in MMA, and offered her to fight in boxing. Now, one thing I'll say about this is Claressa Shields can't be accused of not fighting in MMA because she has fought in MMA twice, if I'm not mistaken. Won one and lost the other. So she showed she's got the cojones to do it. But she's also come out and she's been very realistic and honest and said, look, there is no way she can close the experience gap between her and Chris Cyborg when it pertains to MMA. So why would she take the fight in MMA? Fair enough. But then where I disagree with her is her saying it's more of a fair fight if Chris Cyborg fights her in boxing. It's not. Because Chris Cyborg can't close the experience gap between her in boxing in the same way she can't close the experience gap with Chris Cyborg in MMA. So for me, surely you can't call her out in boxing and then say she's a coward for calling you out in MMA. In the same way, Chris Cyborg can't call her out in MMA and then call her a coward for calling her out in boxing. If I'm going to propose something here, and this is just little old me coming up with a suggestion, I personally would try and pose a fight whereby they fight in the cage with 4-ounce gloves, but there's no takedowns allowed. So maybe kicks and punches only. I think that makes it a fairer fight. Or if you're not going to allow kicks, then still 4-ounce gloves. Because then I think that levels up the playing field a little bit, especially if it's in a cage as well. In a boxing ring, Cyborg ain't going to have a chance against Claressa Shields. She's not going to have a chance. In an octagon with 4-ounce gloves and it's just punching, she might not be the favorite, but she might have a chance. It's a different guard. It's a different way to block when you're in the cage with 4-ounce gloves than it is when you've got boxing gloves on. So maybe, just maybe, it'll be a bit more of a fair fight and more of an entertaining fight. I think if Claressa Shields and Cyborg did that, then I think that would make more sense. But just a straight boxing match, Cyborg ain't got a chance in hell against Shields. Ain't got no women's MMA fighter, maybe barring Holly Holm in her prime, would have a chance against Claressa Shields in a boxing match. None. Not Amanda Nunes, not Cyborg, no one. Where was I? No one would have a chance. So if that fight gets made, I hope favorable terms are made for that fight. And another fight that has been made in boxing, and that is Darren Till in Misfits, finally has an opponent after Tommy Fury pulled out of their fight that was meant to happen, and that is Anthony Taylor. The cocky and brash American has fought in Misfits quite a few times now and will now be taking on Darren Till in look, a fight that probably makes a bit more competitive sense. Anthony Taylor's not necessarily known for his boxing. He was also an MMA fighter as well. A lot shorter than Darren Till, if I'm not mistaken. Shorter than Tommy Fury, I think, as well. But he's someone that can go back and forth with Darren Till on the mic. Plus, I don't think he's going to be fearful of any MMA threats, whether it be elbows, kicks, as Darren Till threatened Tommy Fury with, because he's seen all of that. He's faced that before in the past. So I think this is a good fight. I kind of feel as though this fight will happen and then the winner will fight Tommy Fury. I think Darren Till wins this fight. I think it makes the fight between him and Fury even bigger and better. If he loses, then he knows that there's no point in him doing misfits anymore and he should just go back to MMA. But I go out on a limb and I think Darren Till does win this one. I don't think he would have beaten Tommy Fury, but I do think he wins this one. And I'm intrigued to see how the press conferences are, the promotion for it, and how it all pans out on the 18th of January. Because I think it could be an entertaining fight, but albeit I think Darren Till gets his hand raised. And then finally, a fight that isn't happening, and that is Paddy Pimblett versus Michael Chandler. Paddy Pimblett has shut down rumors that he has a fight for UFC London in March. And there was a certain account, I don't want to mention the person's name just because I just don't want it to be clipped up and them thinking I'm taking shots and stuff. I've never had interaction with the person, so I don't want to do it. But the account put out that he was fighting Benoit Saint-Denis, then he was fighting someone else, and then Michael Chandler. Paddy Pimblett shut down all of those rumors, said that the person doesn't have a clue what they're talking about. Paddy Pimblett, I'm 50-50 on whether he's even going to be on the card because it's not a pay-per-view card and Paddy is a pay-per-view fighter. So I don't see him being on the card unless they change the London card to become a pay-per-view card. I don't see how and why they do it. And it doesn't look like MVP is going to be on the card because he's fighting Shara Bullet on the 1st of February. Leon Edwards has said he's going to be on the card, but there's been no news about him. Don't know if Paddy's going to be on the card. Aspinall won't be on the card. Obviously, Till's not even doing MMA at the moment. Mikhaev isn't in the UFC anymore. So then you're left with Arnold Allen, Lerone Murphy. Maybe them two could fight. That could be a good fight. I'm trying to think who else. Nathaniel Woods. Molly, maybe. It's a bit frustrating because obviously someone who lives in London, you look forward to when the UFC comes to town and you try and get tickets or you try and get to the event. But I don't feel like they're putting their best foot forward with this one. And I know Blachowicz versus Oldberg's on the card, and that could be a very good fight and a big fight for the light heavyweight division in determining who could be the next #1 contender for the title as well. I just think they could have done more of this card. I think it should have been a pay-per-view card. I know that meant or means we would have to pay for it in the UK, but at least we get a higher quality of card, in my opinion. But yeah, time remains to be seen on how that pans out and what happens there. And yeah, for now, it doesn't seem like Paddy Pimblett is going to be on the card at all. So watch this space. We'll see what happens. But people, I'm going to wrap up there. It's been MMA Monday. If you haven't already, please do smash the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. On the road to 4,000 subscribers. So please do help us get there. Also, always shout out to Luke Tanner and Jamie Phillips. Links to their channels are in the description. Don't know if we'll be live again between now and New Year. I'll have to see. Depends on my schedule. Depends on Luke and Jamie's schedule as well. But if not before the end of the year, just want to wish everyone a fantastic end to 2024 and hope you all have a brilliant 2025 and a good start to the year as well. Thanks everyone who supported the channel throughout 2024 to grow up to over 3,000 subscribers. And hopefully we can take things to another level next year. Shout out to everyone. Till I see you guys again. Take it easy, everyone. Thanks for watching the Sanderson Show. See you later.